guys, it's Nikki. So the Christmas season is here, and I don't know about you guys, but this time of the year always brings me back to my childhood. Actually, I'm always feeling nostalgic. If you guys have been watching my videos, you probably also are a big fan of the late 90s and early 2000s. So in today's video, I want to go over some of my all-time favorite Christmas toys that I received during my childhood. And I'm guessing you may have received some of these too, and these are also probably your favorites. And first on the list is the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And the SNES is very special to me. This very one is the first console I ever received. The SNES was a 16-bit console originally released in Japan in 1990 as the Super Famicom, but was released in the US in 1991 as the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. There were many great games like Super Mario Kart, Mario Paint, and Super Mario Bros. One of the greatest games of all time was Donkey Kong Country. After playing the game again in recent years, I have to say I'm still very impressed by how well the soundtrack and art style optimized the limited graphics, pixels, and other technology to work with at the time. And the next toy I'm going to talk about is the Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color was released in Japan on October 21st, 1998, and in international markets the following month, which was just in time for Christmas. I feel very lucky to have been born at the right time to be old enough to enjoy the beginning of the Game Boy Color and the original Pokemon games for generations 1 and 2. The Game Boy Color and the Pokemon craze known as Pokemania went hand in hand, both coming to the US the same year. What a time to be alive. The art style in the original Pokemon games is still my favorite. It had so much more personality and character put into it, in my opinion, and the maps weren't open world, but somehow still felt bigger. While we're talking about 1998, this year was unbeatable when it came to pop culture. We were so spoiled. We got the Powerpuff Girls, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, the Game Boy Color, and Furby. Furby was the top Christmas gift of 1998. The retail value of this toy was $30 originally. However, the demand sometimes would drive the toy's value to anywhere from $100 to $300. Over 40 million units were sold between 1998 to 1999. Furbies have fun, energetic, and obnoxious personalities. You loved them by day and feared them at night when they started speaking to you unprovoked. They came in many different colors, patterns, and special editions. I am a huge fan of these and have always found them to be adorable. And one of the next best Christmas gifts of all times was the Nintendo GameCube, of course. The Nintendo GameCube was one of my favorite consoles. When it was released in 2001, it felt like such a leap for gaming. The art styles and graphics looked so well polished at the time. The console itself was the easiest to carry around at the time. It was compact, cube-shaped, and even had a handle for carrying. I feel like we saw a lot of big titles in that era that we're still getting remakes, re-releases, and sequels for today. I basically got the GameCube for Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon back then. These games were so addicting. And soon after, I found several other amazing games. Last but not least, the Nintendo DS, which came out in 2004. It was a big deal for fans of handheld gaming. This dual-screen device featured a screen on the top and a touchscreen on the bottom, which came with a stylus. The DS had steep competition with other consoles and devices at the time, especially considering Nintendo isn't always known for using the latest and greatest technology. Despite this, their advantage was prioritizing innovation and fun. This is why the DS was a huge success. The DS explored many unique experiences for gamers. I remember carrying my DS everywhere with me playing games on the go. The DS had so much to offer with fun titles like Nintendogs, countless Sims games, Animal Crossing Wild World, and many others. Even PictoChat was a blast. I hope you all had fun looking back at some of the best Christmas toys of our childhood. But most importantly, I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys!